Good day, everyone. Hope you all are doing well and stay healthy. In this presentation, me, Brother Sivan Salim, and my partner Zaradi Putri will present our topic about politeness, power, social distance, and rate of imposition. Before we get into the discussion, let's be familiar with politeness. In the years since politeness first appeared, it has come to be accepted as the classic treatment on politeness and communication. As an integrative treatment of phenomena previously dealt with in a variety of disciplines, it is now widely cited by linguists, psychologists, and students of social interaction. A major reason for this interest is that politeness is basic to the production of social order and a precondition of human cooperation, so that any theory which provides an understanding of this phenomenon at the same time goes to the foundations of human social life. Power. According to Sarah Mills, power is another variable that is often treated in a relatively simplistic way in much linguistics analysis. It is operated in a term of unequal role relations such as teacher and student or employee and employer. In definition of Brown and Levinson, it is a degree that the hearer can impose his own plans and faith at the expense of the speaker's plans and faith. Power refers to the power relationship between two interlocutors. You will typically find yourself in three types of power relationships. In the first type of power relationship, you would have equal power with the person you are talking to. For example, talking to a friend. And the other two types of power relationships, you would either have more power, for example, becoming a boss, or maybe less power, for example, an employee, than the person you are talking to. Social distance. Politeness in interaction can be employed to show awareness of another person's face. In this sense, politeness can be accomplished in situations of social distance. Socially distance represents respect or difference, whereas socially close is described in terms of friendliness, camaraderie, and solidarity. Politeness is a social practice in one sense because it involves evaluations occasioned by social actions and meanings that are recognizable to participants. In saying these social actions and meanings are recognizable to participants, we are alluding to the fact that social actions and meanings necessarily draw on normative practices, ways of formulating talk, and conduct that are understood by participants as doing and meaning certain things.
Rating of imposition is a degree towards the imposition that is interfered in interact tense positive or negative ones culturally or situationally. It is something that comes when something is asked for. Rank of imposition refers to the importance or degree of difficulty in the situation. For example, in request, a large rank of imposition would occur if you were asking for a big favor, whereas a small rank of imposition will exist when the request is small. In Spanish, high ranks of imposition tends to require more formal and complex language structures. Jenny Thomas follows Leach and Brown and Levinson's calls, explaining more detail about relative power, social distance, and rating of imposition. Her explanation is described as follows. The first one is power. Power influences someone to be more polite to the person who has more power than he does, and to be less polite to the person who has less power than he does. There are some types of the power, namely reward power, coercive power, legitimate power, referent power, and expert power. Reward power is the power in which the employer influences his employee's career in a positive way, like give up promotions. Conversely, coercive power is the power in which the employer influences his employee's career in a negative way. Meanwhile, legitimate power is power determined by the particular factor like their role or status. Another type of power, reverent power, is determined by the figure of someone that the other admires or wants to be like him. Then, expert power is determined by the case that the powerful participant has the expertise or knowledge that the powerless participants needed. The second one is the social distance. It's a combination of the psychological factors such as status, age, sex, or degree of intimacy that decides the overall degree of respectfulness. The third is the site of imposition. Its degree of how threatening the VTA to the hearer. It follows the concept of free and non-free goods or services. For example, we can take or use most things in our house, but it's more threatening when we are in our neighbor's house, or asking 10 pounds sterling is more threatening than 10 cents. However, according to Brown and Levinson, the factors such as social power, social distance, and rating of impositions affect the seriousness of VTA or face threatening act and define the degree of politeness. The conclusion. Politeness, whether positive or negative, by nature is bound by power, orientation, and strategy. According to Brown and Levinson's politeness theory, there are three social variables based on which speakers should vary their strategies. They are social distance, power, and rank of imposition. In power, although the social distance are high among interactants, the current power relationship might be close, because there might be a friendship between king and servants, or the interact might belong to one family. Social distance can be defined as the higher the status of the speaker in relation to the address, the less she or he will need to adopt strategies to minimize any VTA. For example, is a king talking to a servant. Imposition is about the risk posed by the message which the speaker has to convey to the address. It depends on the content of the utterance. However, according to Brown and Levinson, the factors such as social power, social distance, and the rating of imposition affect the seriousness of VTA and define the degrees of politeness. Thank you.
Right, that is pretty much all of our presentation. Our sincere apologies for mistaken words or pronunciations. Thank you for your attention and have a great day.